For years, whispers have circulated that Jay-Z deliberately keeps his distance from 50 Cent, and now, 50's finally breaking his silence. The long-rumored tension between the two has resurfaced, fueled by talk of infidelity scandals, how new artists were managed, and even a secret arrangement involving Beyoncé. Jay-Z's power in the music industry is no secret, and insiders claim he's quietly warned his circle to steer clear of 50's outspoken fire. But now, 50 Cent is firing back, calling out the names of those he says were affected by Jay-Z's influence and dragging long-buried rumors back into the spotlight. His latest comments have reignited a fierce debate about power, pressure, and just how much control industry giants really have behind the curtain.
One time walking in the studio, bleak beans, everybody was in there, and I was like, man, I'm telling you, man, y'all got a chance right now, just flood it, put out a lot of music, because 50 Cent is coming. And, you know, 4 months later, in the club hit, and it was over. And it was just like, okay, now everybody got to sit on the sidelines and wait this tidal wave out.
There's a huge difference in energy internationally in 50 Cent and Jay-Z. In fact, his largest selling record sold 430-something thousand copies. My largest selling records sold 5 million. You let them be fooled in America and think there's a competition there. Because America could be purchased. You can buy it with marketing dollars. You see what I'm saying? But the rest of the world, there's not enough marketing dollars to go around.
That's why I made a statement about Taylor Swift.
I wish you would come take one of my awards so I could black his eye in front of everybody.
And Jay disagrees.
I want everyone to be clear. No one's scared of 50 Cent.
Does that bother you? Does it bother you?
No, it doesn't bother me. It's just his choice.
Why would you have to make that clear when no one's ever asked me if I'm afraid of Jay-Z?
The public is responding to his punk presentation. It's not 50 Cent. I don't have a problem with him. Kanye would not take a trophy from me. Neither Jay-Z.
Right.
Neither one of them.
What would you have?
50 Cent and Jay-Z's rivalry runs deep, tracing all the way back to the late 90s. It all started with 50's breakout track How to Rob, where he playfully name-dropped Jay-Z, but the joke sparked real tension. Even back then, 50 hinted that Jay didn't fight battles head-on, preferring to pull strings behind the scenes using his influence in the industry over time. Insiders began backing that theory. Many claimed Jay strategically used his power to shape the playing field, especially when competing artists were gearing up to drop major projects. The same whispers surfaced during Nas's feud with Jay, with fans suggesting Jay made moves that deliberately slowed Nas's rise, and similar claims re-emerged when 50 Cent's own albums were on the way. And while both Jay-Z and Diddy publicly pushed narratives of unity and empowerment for black artists, critics say that behind the curtain, some of those same artists were quietly sidelined. The case of Beanie Sigel is one of the most talked-about examples. Many believe his releases were buried on purpose, conveniently timed around Jay-Z's own drops to keep the spotlight firmly on Hov.
Jay-Z. You couldn't sell more records than Jay-Z. But all you had to do was listen to Beanie Sigel, and Beanie Sigel was, oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah, he said that. That was the first of me actually hearing it. Like, oh shit. Like, I used to have questions like, why every time my album dropped, Jay would drop right on top of me. He wouldn't let me breathe or right before me. Like, I was always close, and I always thought like, damn, if a kid, back then it was physical copies. So if you had $20, $20 that you saved up and you was going to buy an album, and it's under the same house, Rockefeller, between Jay and Beanie Sigel, 9 times out of 10 you won't buy the Jay-Z album. I never understood that every single album that I dropped, Jay dropped right on time. And it was like, damn, like that in-house competition at that magnitude was crazy. Jay already the boss, but I always thought that, like, let me breathe. But to maliciously plot to hold me back, I don't know, man. I don't believe that. I don't want to believe that. I mean, but like I said, Dame with no.
There were even reports suggesting that Jay-Z wasn't completely supportive of 50 Cent's appearance at the Super Bowl halftime show, and that 50 only locked in his spot after Eminem personally went to bat for him. Behind the scenes, It was M's insistence that made the performance happen, not Jay's approval. Throughout their careers, Eminem has stood by 50 with unwavering loyalty, defending him both in public and in private. In an industry where alliances change overnight, their bond has remained one of the rare examples of genuine, long-term loyalty, a brotherhood built on respect rather than politics.
Jay-Z, right? I said to my nephew, I said, yo, listen, I have to ask him this straight up. So I said, yo, why? Who is the people that's on NFL? And he said to me, and I'm sorry for anybody who don't understand. And he said, the white guy called for 50 Cent. So I said, who's the white guy? I'm digging this Jimmy Iovine. And he said, no, Eminem called directly for 50. And he said,
that's his guy.
He said, I can't do it if I can't bring 50 up.
But that's his guy.
That's beautiful.
And guess who's Dre's guy?
Your guy. Me.
Even with all his success, 50 Cent has built his name on loyalty, never forgetting the people who helped him rise. Tony Yayo has often said that beyond 50's legendary status in hip-hop, what truly defines him is how approachable, grounded, and supportive he remains toward other black artists. No matter how high he climbs, 50 still shows up for his community. Jay-Z, on the other hand, has cultivated a very different image, one of power, distance, and exclusivity. To many, he represents the upper echelon of the industry, someone who operates behind closed doors rather than on the front lines. And now, as old tensions between 50 and Jay-Z resurface, that sharp contrast between loyalty and legacy, accessibility and authority, is once again sparking major conversation across the culture.
Level, like, I mean, you know, he's like, but you know what I like about 50? 50's on a whole nother level, but he's still approachable. You still get to meet the people and you know, Jay gotta remember the people that made him. You know, I'm not saying I don't got respect. I respect Jay-Z, 50, used to respect, you know, Diddy, but all that crazy going on. But, you know, I always respected him because I looked at, for New York, those were like the guys, you know what I'm saying? The guys with the most money and the most influence. So with Jay is like, when the last time you haven't seen Jay. So I think people are just gonna say that. You know what I'm saying? But for me, I mean, Jay, you know, you gotta remember, he didn't want 50 at the Super Bowl. That was crazy. I'm like,
wait, Jay didn't want 50 at the Super Bowl?
Know that? Yeah, he didn't want.
I remember Eminem pushed for it.
That was some hate. Yeah,
I remember Eminem was like, I'm not gonna do it unless 50 does it. I heard that.
Yeah,
but I didn't know that Jay was trying to stop it.
I don't think Jay. I don't know. 50 never told me that, but I don't think Jay wanted him there. I don't know.
Because of what? Some of the.
I mean, you know, it's competition. You got to think. 50 always been competition for Jay. Remember, I'm about $1. What the 50 Cent?
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
That was what 9. What was that? 9.
But after that, they did a song together. Remember the whole
50 was always competition for. Then remember Jay said, yo, 50's coming. He told Siegel and them, and Memphis Bleak and all them.
Yeah.
And come on, 50's like, he's on a whole nother level. You gotta remember, he came after Jay and Rockefeller. G-Unit came, and people might G-Unit, but with Eminem, Dr. Dre, 50 Cent, nobody has outsold us, bro.
Yeah.
Nobody has had the effect that we had.
2020, y'all. Yeah. And it's different than when it was 2016. You know, the game has been elevated. As we can tell, there's no expense being spared. We had a black billionaires lunch. Yeah. You understand? Right. And we here together, and we're gonna keep staying together. We getting tighter. You know what I'm saying? And united we stand. And ain't nothing else to us. Black excellence.
The new lawsuit coming with Jay, the part with Jay. I go, oh shoot, like
to us. Black excellence.
That had to be there.
We getting tighter. You know what I'm saying? And united we stand. And ain't nothing else.
Black excellence, they're sitting there like, yeah. It's a billionaire brunch.
Oh,
like,
I hate you, man.
Unaware of anything going on here. This is the one time I'm going to be with you this year. Come on.
Jay-Z has always been seen first and foremost as a strategist, a businessman who treats every move like a chess piece. Every partnership, every project, every public appearance seems to serve a larger purpose in his empire. Over time, that precision has earned him both admiration and criticism. Some, including 50 Cent, have taken it a step further, suggesting that even Jay-Z and Beyoncé's relationship operates like a high-level business arrangement rather than a traditional romance. In several of his comments, 50 has referred to it as a contract, implying that their bond is less about emotion and more about power, image, and influence. Whether or not that's true, it's clear Jay-Z's approach to life and love has always been rooted in strategy over sentiment.
Contract. The big one was with Beyonce. When he signed that contract, the marriage contract, he got trophies. Now those trophies, trophies came rolling in, buddy. He started getting Grammys left and right, man. I mean, look, if you look at his career,
Wow. You're gonna let him say that? Jay was getting Grammys.
He had one.
Exactly.
He had one.
And he ain't show up.
He had like 20 now.
Oh, Lord.
He had like 18 since he been down. Look, he had one, bro. Hard Knock Life.
You're not wrong.
He was one. At the same time, he got some shit. He started drinking. His pictures were thinks the cup.
Wait a minute. So you're saying the success is derived from the marriage?
Absolutely, been treated differently.
The accolades, because he's no longer viewed as what, like a street or gangster rapper. Now he's viewed as a businessman, entrepreneur, family man.
And the biggest ones because of the position Beyonce's.
Oh wow.
Jay-Z's career, you can look at that and say the association to Beyonce is when he started to receive the 16, 17 Grammys since he's been with Beyonce. Right? And you go prior to that, one.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So that came in association, like you see their kids even have Grammys. Like they don't sing yet. They don't sing.
Right.
They don't rap yet. And they already have Grammys and shit. So it's like they give them this trophy so we secure that they're coming to the award show. It meant that much to the culture that they just gave them.
Why are you so on top of the business side of Jay-Z? You know what I'm saying? Some people like to just be an artist.
Yeah, I was actually forced to be an artist and a businessman because when I tried to get a deal, I couldn't get a deal. So I had to create Rockefeller Records. We actually created Rockefeller Records from nothing. And, so I was forced to know both sides of the business.
For years, industry commentators have speculated that Beyoncé and Jay-Z's marriage was as much a strategic alliance as it was a love story. They argue that the union elevated both artists, merging two global brands into an unmatched cultural empire. Yet, those same voices often return to this theory when discussing the couple's alleged relationship struggles. Whispers of infidelity and private tension have circulated for years, though rarely supported by concrete proof. Still, the rumors persist, fueled by cryptic lyrics, public appearances, and the sheer fascination with two of music's most powerful figures navigating love under a global spotlight.
The diva Rihanna. She's from Barbados?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's Bayesian.
Okay, she's Bayesian. How did you come in contact with her? I mean, did you fly over there?
No, Jay Brown had actually bought me the song. She has a song right now that's I wouldn't say massive because of her roots, but she has this outrageous song called Upon the Replay. And he played that song for me, and I was scared. I was like, that song is too big for her. You know what I'm saying? Like, a new artist, when a song is that big, it's it's hard to come back from. And I don't sign songs, I sign artists.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Why don't you break down the difference between that? Because the viewing public might not understand that.
Some people chase the hot song for a minute, and then they sign, based on the song. I want to sign it based on an artist, based on or based on the swagger, based on the level of talent, based on the writing, So I was a little reluctant when I first heard the song, and then, he kept going, Jay Brown, he kept being persistent. I was like, bring her by. And when she walked into our office, I was like, she just had, it was just something about her. It was just, she had this, it was just something about her. And then she performed the song, and I was like, okay. Then, we sat down and we talked. And they were talking about how she would stay in the studio and try to get the verse over and then come back the next day. I was like, oh, work ethic. Everything is there. So we signed it that night. We didn't let her leave the office.
Really?
To 3 a.m. was when that contract got signed. So from the meeting around 3, 4 in the afternoon, we signed it by 3 in the morning.
Wow.
That day, I was absolutely certain.
But Jaguar has been warning us about Jay-Z. Jay-Z has now had an official lawsuit. It's everywhere. It's now being talked about louder than ever. I guess, does that give you some peace to know that people are finally really questioning this man?
It's emboldening me. I spoke on Piers Morgan. I said that I had 3 victims that I've been working with, victims of the Carters, that were ready to come forward. This might help them feel a little more confident now. So this is great because he's been evading. But the thing is, everyone in the backdrop knew that he was the celebrity John Doe. Everybody knew that. They knew it when I did Piers Morgan.
Is Beyonce celebrity B?
I hope to God not. But she was around. And she's very... she's got enough on her plate. After everything that happened with the election and everything that's happening right now, I'm not going to dump on that woman. She got better fish to fry. What I will say is that her husband, she knows exactly who he is.
Yeah.
She knows. She knows.
Rihanna was trafficked to Def Jam.
She was an innocent baby when she came over here. And look at her now.
14 going on 15 years old. Flown over without parental supervision in a private plane by a man who was supposed to be a producer who auditioned her at 3 a.m. in the morning in a hotel room. Auditioning at 3 a.m. in the morning, a 14-year-old girl. She was flown to another country. She was taken to Def Jam headquarters. She was left in a conference room alone with Sean Carter for nearly 6 hours alone with no parental supervision. Her father collected a $500,000 check. She has the fastest inked deal.
Jay-Z's early career wasn't without turbulence. Back in December 1999, he found himself at the center of major headlines after an alleged altercation with music executive Lance Rivera at New York City's Kit Kat Club. The incident quickly became one of the most talked-about controversies in hip-hop, placing Jay-Z under intense public and legal scrutiny. Though the case eventually settled, it marked a defining moment in his rise to superstardom. A reminder that fame and controversy often walk hand in hand, and that even the most calculated moves can spiral under the glare of the spotlight.
Is busted. Jay-Z turned himself in tonight, and the cops started working on his rap sheet, accusing him of a stabbing at a trendy party.
Kimberly Richardson is at Midtown South right now. Kimberly.
Well, Rosanna, just a few hours ago, police here at Midtown South arrested Sean Carter, better known as Jay-Z. The rap star voluntarily turned himself in here at the precinct earlier this evening. Now, Carter is being held here in connection with that stabbing fight that erupted at the Kit Kat Club last night. But just a few moments ago, Carter's attorney had this to say.
He's not involved in this, period.
He was at the club?
That's my only comment. He wasn't involved in this.
So it was someone else that did the stabbing and the hitting?
I didn't say that. I said he was not involved in it.
Now, Slovis goes on to say that at no time was Jay-Z hiding from the police, that they were in touch with cops all day and that they're trying to resolve this as gentlemen. But as Mike Sheehan shows us, others say they've seen the dark side of Jay-Z.
I have my faults. You know, I'm not a person.
Jay-Z's personal life has often been just as scrutinized as his music. Over the years, the media has closely followed the highs and lows of his marriage to Beyonce, especially during periods when rumors of tension surfaced. Reports in 2007 and again in 2014 hinted at challenges behind the scenes, fueling widespread speculation about the power couple's dynamic. One of the most infamous moments came after the 2014 Met Gala, when surveillance footage of an elevator confrontation between Solange and Jay-Z went viral. Beyonce's calm demeanor throughout the incident only intensified public curiosity, with many interpreting her silence as quiet solidarity with her sister. For years, industry insiders had debated the true nature of Jay-Z and Beyonce's relationship, whether it's a union rooted purely in love or a strategic partnership designed to amplify their cultural and financial empire. Whatever the truth, one thing remains clear. Together, they've mastered the art of turning even the most private moments into part of their legend.
difficult to say, I'm going to talk about the problems in our marriage. I'm going to talk about how we almost lost things. And for her to say, I'm going to talk about my pain and anger at you. What were those conversations like?
Again, it didn't happen in that way. It happened, we were using our art almost like a therapy session, and we started making music together.
Mm-hmm.
And then the music she was making at that time was further along. So her album came out as opposed to the joint album that we were working on.
Mm-hmm.
We still have a lot of that music. And this is what it became. There was never a point where it was like, I'm making this album. I was there.
Right.
I was right there the entire time.
And what was her reaction to your work, and what was your reaction to hers? They must have caused pain for each of you, right?
Of course. And it both very, very uncomfortable, but sitting in that, the best place in the, hurricane is like in the middle of it.
Yeah.
We were sitting in the eye of that hurricane. Maybe not use hurricane because so many people are being affected right now, but the best place is right in the middle of the pain.
Right.
And that's where we were sitting, and it was uncomfortable. And it's a lot of conversations, and really proud of the music she made, and she was really proud of the art I released. And, at the end of the day, we really have a healthy respect for one another's craft. I think she's amazing. Right. Most people walk away and like divorce rate is like 50% or something because most people can't see themselves. The hardest thing is seeing pain on someone's face that you caused and then have to deal with yourself.
Yeah.
So most people don't want to do that.
Yeah.
You don't want to look inside yourself. Yeah. And so you walk away. It's my soulmate, it's the person I love, and you can be in love with someone. You can love someone and and if you haven't experienced love and you don't understand it and you don't have the tools to move forward, then you're going to have complications, period. And if you can either address it or you can pretend until it blows up at some point. And, for us, we chose to fight for our love, for our family, to give our kids a different outcome. You see, to break that cycle. For Black men and women, to see a different outcome. Like you were saying, it's not this celebrity couple. We were never a celebrity couple. We were a couple who just had...
Jay-Z's personal life once again finds itself under the spotlight, with recent reports hinting at possible ties to Diddy, though none of these claims have been officially confirmed. Still, the whispers have set off a storm of speculation across social media and entertainment circles. The story has reignited debate about how power, wealth, and influence can shape public perception, and how easily narratives shift when major industry figures are involved. In a world where image often outweighs evidence, the situation underscores the delicate balance between fame and accountability, and how quickly even the most untouchable names can become part of the conversation.
A high-profile lawsuit accuses rapper Jay-Z of raping a 13-year-old girl in 2000 alongside Sean Diddy Combs. The lawsuit, originally filed in October, was refiled today to include Jay-Z as a defendant. The anonymous accuser claims the assault occurred at an MTV Video Music Awards after-party. Jay-Z has denied the allegations in a statement on Roc Nation's Instagram, calling the accusations heinous and urging a criminal complaint be filed instead of a civil one. He also criticized the attorney behind the lawsuit, Tony Busby, accusing him of exploiting the case for personal.
In an industry where silence often speaks louder than words, 50 Cent has built a reputation for speaking his mind without hesitation. On a recent episode of the Flagrant podcast, he addressed the secrecy and loyalty that dominate the music world, explaining that many insiders stay quiet to protect their networks and alliances. According to 50, this silence isn't cowardice. It's a reflection of the complex web of relationships behind the scenes, where few dare to openly discuss conflicts or industry politics. 50 didn't stop there. On Big Boy TV, he even playfully roasted Jay-Z's recent fashion choices, joking about the rapper's experimental style. Comments like these might seem bold, maybe even risky, but that's exactly what sets 50 apart. He's never afraid to call it like he sees it, while most others in music would think twice before speaking up against someone of Jay-Z's stature.